Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a close look at government accountability, specifically through a legal lens here in South Africa.
That's right.
We're focusing on a really significant lawsuit filed by Toyota Motors Corporation. It concerns the damages, the quite devastating damages they suffered during the 2022 KwaZulu-Natal floods.
Yes. Those floods were a terrible natural disaster. Over 400 lives lost, huge damage to infrastructure across the board.
A real tragedy.
Absolutely. But Toyota's case zooms in on something specific: the alleged failure of public bodies to maintain vital infrastructure.
Right.
So what we want to unpack for you today is this complex web of legal duties and, importantly, the kind of precedent this case might set.
Okay, let's get into that, because the economic hit for Toyota alone was just immense. We're talking about their Prospecton plant being shut down completely.
And critical plant for them.
Hugely critical. It led to a projected, 33% drop in their annual vehicle production?
That's the figure cited, yes.
And that translates to an estimated revenue loss of over $27 billion?
Yeah.
It's staggering.
Yeah, it really is. And that plant is crucial for exports, too, so the knock-on effects, well, they're widespread.
Exactly. It's not just one company's problem.
No, it has much broader economic implications. And what's fascinating, legally speaking, is the core argument Toyota's insurer, Tokyo Marine and Nichido Fire Insurance, is making.
Okay.
They're pointing the finger directly at Transnet SOC Ltd., that's the state-owned port and rail operator, and also the KZN Department of Transport and the local municipality.
So, multiple state entities.
Correct, asserting direct negligence. The claim is essentially that these bodies failed to properly maintain drainage and water management systems under their control.
And that failure directly contributed to the flood damage at the plant.
Precisely. It really brings into sharp focus this whole issue of public bodies fulfilling their responsibilities, particularly when we know certain areas are prone to disasters like flooding.
So when we talk about direct negligence here, could you elaborate a bit? What specific duties are they accused of actually breaching?
Well, it comes down to the legal concept of a duty of care. Public entities like Transnet, which owns land and infrastructure near Toyota's plant, and the Transport Department, the municipality, they have duties set out in law.
Statutory duties.
Yes, statutory and also common law obligations. Things like maintaining stormwater drains, culverts, keeping riverbeds clear, generally managing water flow in their areas.
Okay.
The lawsuit argues they didn't do this properly. They didn't clear blockages or repair things or maybe even upgrade systems, even though arguably the flood risks were known. Perhaps there were past incidents suggesting issues.
So the argument isn't just that a massive flood happened.
No, it's that the impact was made significantly worse, perhaps even caused in that specific location, by foreseeable and preventable failures in infrastructure maintenance. Neglect, essentially.
Right. And this is where it gets really interesting for everyone listening, particularly businesses.
Definitely.
Because if the court agrees with Toyota here, this could set a major precedent.
A very significant one.
You could see other companies thinking, well, hang on. We also suffered losses because infrastructure wasn't maintained during that storm or that fire. It could embolden similar claims.
Absolutely. It points to perhaps an evolving dynamic between, the rights of businesses and the responsibilities of public entities. Companies might start using the legal system more proactively.
To address issues around disaster preparedness and infrastructure resilience.
Exactly. Which then raises a big question, doesn't it? How might a ruling like this actually influence government behavior going forward?
You mean, could it force them to be more proactive?
Potentially. Could we see government bodies forced to prioritize infrastructure maintenance with, a new sense of urgency, maybe even factoring potential liability for economic disruption into their risk assessments and budgets?
It could change how public sector risk is managed, fundamentally.
It really could.
So, pulling this together then, what does this Toyota lawsuit signify beyond just a corporate claim for damages?
Well, I think it's acting as a critical test case.
A test of public accountability.
Yes, and governmental responsibility when facing these large-scale natural events. It really highlights that crucial link, sometimes overlooked, between keeping infrastructure properly maintained and ensuring economic stability.
It's about making sure the systems we rely on, the ones meant to protect shared resources and economic activity, are actually, fit for purpose.
Precisely. And depending on how the court rules, it won't just affect Toyota's own decisions about, say, future investments or making their sites more resilient.
No, it could trigger wider systemic changes.
It could change how corporations and public institutions interact over issues of liability and compensation after disasters. It's a powerful illustration of why effective governance and being proactive about disaster preparedness are so vital, especially now with increasing climate volatility.
It really underscores that need for proactivity.
It does indeed.
So we'll leave you with this thought to consider. How might the final decision in this Toyota lawsuit ultimately reshape the entire legal landscape surrounding government liability and the avenues for corporate redress in our increasingly complex and, let's face it, environmentally challenged world?